วัตโตวรังสุมาติเตียนตังสตังยิตังกริโอมะการันติตติปรานิโสนโมวรโสภะคะวะโตสารนโมปริอิติปิโสวะพุทโธเอคุบาจันติโตโนนโมเรียนะปะปะระจะปะคะสัจจิเจโรนิอิสายะนะวิกะริโยจะปุรันจะธรรมจะสังจะปุรังสิติธรรมสิติสังสิติจารมันตะเจวรโสปุรัสจักรังธรรมสัจจังกัปรังสัพพสัจจกรังกะกะติกะการะกังสงกะกะติกะกะมะระกังสงจุกะโกสวะปะวะสรังกะกะสวะสัพพุรังปุรังปิสามิติปิโสภะคะวะปะนังอิตสะปะระตะควะปะยะนะปะภุคลันโยตาราตติตตาเอสสิตมิจยสิทธินานาราปโสติปะยังสุขังปรังสริโยตวันโนจะโพของอุติเตยสัพพสัตตวสัจจโยจะจีวสิทธิปวัตตุเตจยันโตโพธิยามริสักยันนันติวัตโนเอวังโตวิจโยหิจโยสุเสมะคริยปรติตปรังเกสิเสปรังวิภุปะเรวิสิเสสัพพุทธนาคัมภะโตปฏิสุขะตังสุวัต นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะตินิสิงสตานะภิปัจจวิสรงเจวะจตุเทวะสาสารสัพพะจยินานะเมวะจอิกะญะคานาวะเทวะปัจจปุมังสัมปติเทวราจันตันตปัจจพุทธานามามิหังสิทธิกิจังสิทธิกมังสิทธิกริยากตากโตสิทธิเจตโยนิจังสิทธิราปนิรติยสัพพะกะมะสิทธิอะหังสิทธิภวันตุเต
I was crying because it was the most painful thing that I've ever done. Like the pain was so intense, especially with the pokey stick. But I wouldn't usually cry at the pain like that. I've had pretty painful tattoos before, even though that was definitely the most painful. But like it was just kind of an accumulation of everything. So like thinking about what the tattoo meant and like the whole experience and the energy in the room, it was just very humbling. And while I was getting it done, I was just reciting like the mantras in my head of like what the tattoo means, which was I'm trying not to bump into everything I'm walking down the street, which was love, merciful life, which means like just life going the way that you want it to, I guess. And abundance and success in like your ventures, like business or whatever else. So for me, that's probably like my yoga and my podcast and this channel, like all kind of coming together. So I was just thinking about all of that, but it was really humbling to be reciting these kind of mantras at the same time I was going through like pretty intense physical pain, because it kind of just reminded me that however much you like pray for something in your life, or however much you want like life to go a certain way, like you can pray for love and abundance and all these things, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to go through hard times. Like you cannot avoid hard times. I feel like that was just a really big reminder for me that hard times will still come no matter what, but how you can approach them in such a different way. And also when I was praying for all the things for myself, like love, abundance, like peace as well. Peace was one that I asked him to put onto my Sak Yant, like just to be more peaceful, less stressed, because however much I don't want to, like I just stress quite a lot. It's just in my nature from my upbringing, I guess. So I don't want to feel those ways anymore. So all I was thinking was peace and love and success, and all I could hear in my head like was like this voice saying like you already are all those things, all the things that you want, you already are. But and I know that's true deep down. I'm always looking for these things outside of myself when I know deep down they are in me. I just need to focus on them more, I guess. Yeah, it was a really beautiful experience. Even though it was the most painful thing ever, I'd never regret doing it. It was amazing. It was just a very intense experience. So afterwards they've given us some incense and candles, and we just need to go to a temple and pray about the Sak Yant experience and about what we want from the tattoo, and like what we want going forward, and how the tattoo can help us, guide us, remind us, kind of thing. So people give the statues blessings and donations, so you often find water around. Sometimes you find like sweets and like fizzy drinks and stuff like that as well. It's supposed to be for the spirits to come in and take some, like an offering. And then this is, I'm pretty sure this is Vishnu, which is like an Indian god.
We're gonna go pray now, so we'll see you soon.
Okay, so thank you very much for watching our video. I hope you enjoyed watching me cry. So we're just going to talk a little bit more about what a Sak Yant is, some myth busting, because there's some things online that aren't necessarily true about Sak Yants, which we learned during our time getting our Sak Yant in Chiang Mai. What's it called? Chiang Mai?
Sak
Sak
Yant.
Yant.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's it, yeah.
Okay, so what is a Sak Yant? So a Sak Yant is a tattoo that consists of geometrical patterns. It can have animals in it or deities, which are like the Buddhist gods and symbols of different parts of Buddhism, and they always have some writing on it. So it can be like underneath like this or down and along. This writing is known as Pali, which is a sacred language of Buddhism. So it's not very well known to most people. You have to study it for a long time and learn it. The phrases can offer protections, powers and other benefits. Sak in Thai means tattoo, and Yant is a Sanskrit word for yantra, which means a mystical or magic design. So Sak Yant is often called a magical tattoo. It's given by a monk or a Sak Yant master, which is known as an Ajahn. So that's the person that did our tattoo. So an Ajahn is somebody who used to be a monk.
Yeah. And no longer practices it.
Yeah, but has studied like the
ancient language
and everything about the Sak Yant and how to perform the rituals for many years. So they can still perform the Sak Yant tattoos even though they're no longer a monk.
So how much did our Sak Yant cost? Our Sak Yant was basically around 2,000 baht. Yours was 2,500.
Oh, was it? I can't.
Yeah, 2,500 I believe. It was a slightly bigger, more complex design. And we'll put the pictures again on now so you guys can see. But yeah, it kind of just, they walk you through everything. They have someone that translates to the monk anything that you want to say to them, and they help you through going through the ritual where you do the offering to the monk. And they'll do the little praying that they did as you watched, and then they ask if you want to add anything different or customize your Sak Yant, your Pali, customize, so the ancient language that they write on with a bamboo stick. You can get it customized and then translate that into the monk so that they know what they write, because they're the only people that know the language.
And so you can choose to get your Sak Yant in a temple, but that's not open for women. It's only for men as well.
It's just part of their tradition. But yeah, usually the offerings that you do, they provide it. But if you go alone with no one to help you, you kind of just like go, the offerings are like cigarettes, usually money or tobacco, flowers, stuff like that.
So how was a Sak Yant compared to a machine tattoo? is a common question that we've been asked. I can safely say getting a Sak Yant was, with the bamboo stick, was the most painful thing I've ever done in my life. That was half of the reason that I was crying, maybe like 75% of the reason that I was crying, because it was the most painful thing I've ever done. Like, I've had my tonsils removed and it wasn't even that painful. Like, it's just because the stick is so big.
Yeah, it's very thick.
It's very thick
Oh,
when it's going in
don't
into
even.
your skin.
I remember.
But I also think it's because of the placement as
Yeah,
well.
for
Because
sure.
back tattoos and shoulder tattoos can be quite sore anyway, and I've never had one in that area
Yeah.
before. But some people say it's more painful, some people say it's less painful. I guess it depends on your pain tolerance. But I mean, I've got tattoos all over my body, and that was the most painful tattoo I've ever had.
Yeah, no, there was one point that I could feel the needle perforating my skin. Like, actually, like I could almost hear the sound of the skin going like...
Nice.
when it was piercing through it. So it was something special. Okay, so who chooses the Sak Yant design? A lot of people think that you go to a monk and they kind of like magically know what you need and they read your aura and they pick the design for you.
And we literally thought that before.
Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation online. But that's not the case at all. What usually happens is that if you go to a temple and you not come accompanied with someone that speaks Thai, the monks are not going to speak English, you're not going to speak Thai. So you go to the monk and they kind of just give you one of the 3 master designs that you can usually pick from. So that's what happens. But it just got mystified and like people carried on thinking that was it, and the information just spread around. So that's what people think. Not really what happens. So when we got to our studio in Chiang Mai, you basically pick your design depending on what you want a tattoo for. All the designs have slightly different meanings. There's a lot of different designs. Like even like if you get like a very popular one is the tiger design, like there's so many different designs that you can pick from, and they kind of slightly vary on their meaning. Even though they have an overall meaning, they can be slightly different from each other. So we both got one of the master designs, and our designs look completely different, and they kind of mean slightly different things just because based on what we asked the Ajahn to write on it, and what the design on its own already meant.
Yeah, so mine meant a merciful life and love. And then I also asked them to add a line for peace and a line for abundance.
Yeah. And mine was for kindness, compassion, which I know I have, but sometimes I forget. And for business as well, and wealth and success. And you can ask the Ajahn to add some extra stuff, like we did. But bear in mind that not everything can be written into the Asian language. So I remember I asked for... What did I ask for that they said that you couldn't really translate it?
I'm not sure.
It was something related with luck, not luck on its own, but it was something related with luck. And they said that the language doesn't have a word or a sentence for that. So they basically told me that they couldn't write that on a tattoo. So they're very honest and open with us. So another thing that people might not know is that the texts that you find around in like for the Sak Yant tattoos, they're usually incorrect. Not in the sense that you might think. So basically, the designs that they show it to you, the texts are not written properly because it's such an ancient and sacred language that only the monks know. They do that so that they preserve that knowledge just for their culture.
Yeah, so if you walk, there's a lot of places in Thailand that have the Sak Yant outside.
Like every single tattoo place that you go in Thailand will have Sak Yant designs for you to get.
But they aren't necessarily the right. They're not necessarily presented correctly. So when the Sak Yant master then does the tattoo, they'll obviously write it correctly. It's just to try and stop a lot of the tattoo places from taking the
their designs and copying and spreading it around like a real Sak Yant when it's not.
Yeah, because to them getting a Sak Yant like that is quite disrespectful, because the Sak Yants are supposed to be like a Buddhist practice, and it's supposed to be given in a certain way. It's the same for, you're not supposed to have any tattoos with Buddha on. There's a lot of signs around, especially outside temples, saying that having a tattoo of Buddha is disrespectful, and shouldn't be done. Can you choose the location of your Sak Yant? So yes and no. Sak Yants are often placed on the back. You might know that if you've ever seen anyone else's Sak Yants. So this is because you can see what's coming from you, coming at you from the front, but not from behind. So it's supposed to protect you from things that you can't see. Some people choose to get a Sak Yant on the torso or the arm. Women are not allowed to get a Sak Yant tattoo around the breasts or below the waist. Some tattoo designs are allowed for men on the thighs.
Yeah, usually just animal designs.
Yeah, you can't have a deity like a god
Tattooed below your
anywhere
waist,
below
yeah.
the waist.
Yeah.
You can't get a Sak Yant on your feet. In Thai culture, this is the lowest part of your body. Well, not just in Thai culture. In biology, it's the lowest part of your body. But like the lowest part of your body, like it's disrespectful to get something down there. Like your feet are like
The
dirty.
closest to the ground, the furthest away from Buddha.
Yeah. So it's against the law in Thailand to point your feet towards a Buddha statue or like a Buddha, or to step on any money which has the image of the king on it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Sick. Alright, so what happens once the master finishes doing a tattoo? So basically, what the Ajahn did to us, and they'll do it to everyone that's getting a Sak Yant, is they kind of wrap this little rope between, well, whoever's getting the tattoo and themselves, and they have performed this chanted sutra, which is supposed to activate the blessings and the power within the tattoo. They also like splash this, we assume, we don't know for sure, that's like a blessed water like they do in the Christian religion and all that stuff, over the tattoo to perform all the blessing and the ritual.
Yeah, we were not expecting them to do that.
I wasn't expecting that.
When we were getting it done, they splashed the water and he literally went, we'll put the video on here so you can see. And he like went like that, and I almost started laughing, but we was trying to be really serious. I was still almost crying from everything, and then they were doing like all the chanting stuff. Because he jumped so much, I was like almost laughing, and I had to like calm myself back down again.
Yeah.
I wish they'd warned us about that.
I was in my own little world when that happened, so I was definitely not expecting. Don't deal well with a cold, as you might know from previous videos. But yeah, as I mentioned, they wrap this little string around you, and you're supposed to pray at the same time as the Ajahn is chanting the sutra. And you're supposed to pray for the tattoo, for what it means. You can pray for family, you can pray for friends, you can pray for yourself, and it's just like a very intense moment, and a very it's very spiritual and eye-opening. I started crying a little bit as well, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting to cry during getting the tattoo, but not when I was praying. But yeah, so we do this together, and then the Ajahn blows on the tattoo, which was quite funny as well. That was one of the points where I was like, I'm gonna start laughing.
Yeah, because I didn't expect it either, but when the blow at the end of the prayer, that's supposed to like activate the tattoo's power.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to create a spiritual channel between the wearer of the tattoo with the teachings of the Buddha into your body.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to like create like a spiritual channel.
Connection, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there are some rules that need to be followed.
Oh yeah.
They're not very many. It mainly kind of that comes down to being a good person.
The
rules are
do not kill, do not steal, do not desire another person's lover or spouse or be unfaithful to your own, do not lie, do not get intoxicated. So This doesn't mean that you can't drink or
smoke
whatever, but it just means don't be intoxicated to the point where you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And do not speak ill of your mother. So, if you break one of these rules, you're supposed to go to a temple and ask for forgiveness and pray. So it is kind of like other religions.
Yeah.
But breaking those rules can disconnect the spiritual channel between the Sak Yant and
Buddha.
Yeah.
So we hope we enjoyed the video. We enjoyed? So I hope you enjoyed the video. It was really fun to make. I had a blast editing that. I hope you guys like it. And yeah, watch us on our next adventure on the next episode.